All right. I try to be as well informed on as many topics as I can. I like to take all the information that that people have, the knowledge, and that type of thing, and I try to put it all together and form my own opinion on things. My hair's a little jacked up. Um, so here's a question that I pose to everybody: why do we have Democrats and Republicans? Like, what's the point of that? You know, um, it seems that in a country as grand and as great as ours, that you would have more than two groups. I mean, I know we have independents too, but that doesn't really count. Okay, so now a real quick rundown. Uh, What's the difference, right? So first you have Democrats. Democrats, also known as liberals, and also referred to as on the left, right? So if you have a line, they're on the left side, all right? Now on the right side, you have Republicans. Republicans are also known as conservatives, and also referred to as the on the right. So you have the left versus the right, the liberals versus the conservatives, the Democrats versus the Republicans, and then you have independents. And independents they're not Democrats, they're not liberals, they're in the middle, they're whatever. But I don't like that label either because you shouldn't have a group. You know what I mean? It's not a group of things. So where do you fall on the list of these things, right? What I have found is I've never been a political person. I've never been somebody who cared about politics. I didn't care who the president was. It never made my paycheck go higher or lower. I never said, wow, I'm really glad that this guy's the president. He's really doing great things. And I've never said, like, oh my God, the world is just falling apart because of this president. I don't necessarily believe that the president runs a country. I believe that the 12 or 15 guys around him that are, the financial guy, the war guy, the, whatever guy, those are the people, the commerce people, those are the people that are really running the country. The president is just like the figurehead, the guy that's, or girl or whoever it's going to eventually be, is just the person that is the face of the company. But they're not really making all those great decisions because any president you have is going to have weaknesses somewhere. Take any president, and some of them were real financial guys, and some guys were real military guys, or some guys were, real whatever guys, social guys, or whatever. But there was very few and far between, if any, that had a vast knowledge of all of that stuff, right? So you take somebody like uh, I don't know, Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump seems to come across as a guy who's very financially savvy. He ran businesses and all that other stuff, right? And you take someone like General Eisenhower, and you take him and you say, okay, Eisenhower probably knew a lot about the military, but he didn't run businesses and stuff. He spent his life in the military. And the same thing with Trump. Trump knows a lot about finances and stuff, but he probably doesn't know anything about the military because he was never in the military. So he can't, he can't be the commander, the commander in chief of a military. He can and he is, but he doesn't really understand the inner workings of it. So he has General Mattis and he has General Kelly. These other people that could advise him on these things. So in my opinion, you could take a trained monkey and put him in the presidency, and the people around him are going to say, hey, I'm your military guy, and this is what you should do. Hey, I'm your financial guy, and this is what you should do. Hey, I'm your, whatever person, and this is what you should do. And the president could just say, yeah, I want to do that, or I don't want to do that. So where do you fall in line of all this stuff? Well, here's what the Democrats believe. The Democrats believe in abortion, right? They believe that it's a woman's right to to terminate a pregnancy, depending on the time frame and all that other stuff, and that she should, have the right to decide what she wants to do with her body. On the left, the left, the Democrats, the liberals, that's what they believe. On the right, the Republicans, the conservatives, they believe that no abortion. They believe abortion should be illegal, and that if God's will is for someone to have a baby, they'll have a baby. If they don't want the baby, put it up for adoption. There's plenty of people that will find a baby, that will want to adopt a baby. There's people that are adopting babies in China and all these other countries and all that other stuff. So there'll probably be enough people here to adopt these babies, right? That's their way of thinking. You have same-sex marriage. The Democrats, the liberals, the left believes same-sex marriage. Just everyone can marry everybody, and it's not a big deal. The right believes, well, they're against it. They believe in one man, one woman, the sanctity of marriage, and that's that, and that's the family and all that other stuff. Republicans believe the purpose of having a marriage is so man and women can come together, have a baby, raise a family. That's what they believe. In immigration, Democrats, the left, liberals believe that in open borders, that listen, everyone's a human being. You know what I mean? Everybody deserves dignity and respect and all that other stuff. And they're in a place right now that's dangerous and all that other stuff. Then they should be allowed to just go wherever they want. If they they want to wander from continent to continent or whatever, they should have every right to do that. And when they get to wherever they get to, that's where they get to, and that's what that's what they believe. The Republicans on the right, the conservatives believe no, that every country should have their own borders. Every country should have their own walls. Every country should have all that other stuff, and you shouldn't be allowed to go anywhere illegally. You should be able to do the process that it takes to be, a legal immigrant of that country, abide by their rules and regulations, and then be invited in rather than you just being able to go wherever you want. The liberals on the left, they believe in climate control, that all of this stuff that we're doing, the car fumes and the burning of fossil fuels and coal and oil and all that other stuff is bringing toxic fumes up into the atmosphere, and it's killing off the ozone layer that's making the rays from the sun affect the Earth's heat more, and there's global warming, and the ice caps are melting, and it's all because it's man-made stuff, and that's why there's global warming, and that's why things are bad. The Republicans on the right, the conservatives, they believe that that they don't even believe in global warming. They don't even think that's a thing. They just think that over the years the Earth just does circular things, and every couple of 100,000 years it's just going to do the same thing. It's going to heat up, it's going to cool down, it's going to heat up, it's going to cool down, and it doesn't make a difference what we do. It's just doing its own thing. It's much bigger than us and much stronger than us, and the fossil fuels and all that stuff burning are having no effect on it. So that's kind of the way they feel. The Democrats, as far as voting and all that other stuff, they believe in like voter registration. No, they believe against voter registration. They just think that I'm here, I showed up in California, I want to vote, and I live at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, and there you go, you're allowed to vote. And they don't believe that you should have to show an ID to do that, because that's discriminatory on people who can't get ID for whatever reason. Not lower class citizens, but lower economic citizens that don't have the money to get it or any other stuff. It puts them at a disadvantage because they don't have identification. So it shouldn't be required, because if you can't get it, then you're taking them directly out of the ability to vote, and the Democrats are not for that. The Republicans on the other side are saying, listen, go to the DMV and get a free ID, or go somewhere. I mean, there's free IDs that are offered, the government IDs and stuff like that. You can get one from almost anywhere, but you can get these IDs from somewhere, and that shows your name and your address, that you're a citizen and all that other stuff, and that you should have to show ID to register or to vote, right? Because these votes are important, and these elections are important, and all that other stuff. So these are just a few things on where the Democrat, liberal, left stands, and where the conservative, Republican, right stands, right? But herein lies the problem. What happens if you don't believe in abortion, but you do believe in immigration, but you don't. Oh, and gun control. Um, Liberals are for Democrats, liberals, left are against guns. Just in general, they just the less guns, the less crime, the less anything. If you can get every single gun off the street, then that would be better off for everybody. The right, Republicans, the conservatives, they believe the more guns, the better. The Second Amendment says that we can have as many guns as we want, and they don't want any restrictions on it. They don't want anything to do with it. More guns, everyone gets guns, 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 and that's what they believe. So you could be what's called an independent if you're like, I'm independent from any party. I'm like, I believe my own stuff, but now you fall in line with the independents. What I don't understand is why not just have like, hey, I'm Bob. I'm Bob Jones, and this is what I believe, and this is what I fight for, and this is whatever. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not an independent. I'm just Bob Jones. That's who I am. These are the things that I believe in, and this is if you believe in them with me, or you believe in 3/4 of what I believe, or then vote for me. And if you don't believe that, then don't vote for me. I feel like there's this. I feel like since we're such a great country, there should be 90,000 gazillion parties. They should be just individual thinkers and individual people that are, trying to make life better, and by making the best decisions they can for the people who either think like them or don't think like them or whatever. You don't have to be set on one party to say like, well, since I'm a Democrat, I have to believe these 10 things, or if I'm a Republican, I have to believe these things. So, one of the biggest stances that Democrats have, Democrat, liberal, left, they believe that they believe in equality. They believe in racial equality, so things like affirmative action, gender equality, religion equality, sexual orientation equality, educational opportunities. So with educational opportunities, they believe that like for African Americans, if you only make up 13% of the population, and let's say like Harvard or Yale or Princeton or any of those like really, really good schools, they believe that if you only make up 13% of the population, African Americans, or whatever it is, 17, 18%, that means that your opportunities to get into schools and all that other stuff are less. So you should have the same amount of opportunities as everybody else. So they say, in schools and everything that, okay, well, instead of making them 13%, make it so they're 40%, of enrollees of people that we can pick from. Therefore, we have a wider range of people that we can pick from that are minorities. Now some people believe that that's a great way to do it. To level the playing field for everybody. By leveling the playing field, it gives everybody a better opportunity to be able to get a good job or go to a good school or any of those other things. The Republicans, the conservative right, believes equality by merit, meaning if you want to get into a good school, work hard. If you're only 13% of the population, sorry to hear that, but as an individual, you'll have every opportunity that every other individual has. So if you want a good job, work harder. You want to get into a better school, work harder. You, whatever you want, you can have equally than anybody else. You just have to deserve it, and you just have to. Nothing's going to be given to you or any of that other stuff. So with equality, as far as both groups are concerned, they want everyone to be equal. It's not saying that like the left liberal Democrats are saying that we're going to make everybody equal, and the right Republican conservatives aren't saying no, we don't want everyone to be equal. Everyone wants everyone to be equal, but they want it to be on different terms. The liberals, the left, Democrats, they want to give you a head start or give you an assistance in making it even. And the right conservative Republicans just want you to do it on your own merit. You just want to have your own opportunities to do it, whatever. So if you watch any of the news channels, if you watch the liberal challenge, liberal Democrat channels, or if you watch the conservative right channels, it's like the difference of like a roast and like a eulogy. Like with a roast, like all they have to do is say bad things. Like you could say the same thing. You could say like, I don't even know, but one side is going to just roast the hell out of somebody and everything's going to be bad. And the other side is going to use that same topic as like a eulogy and be like, it's so great and it was so excellent. You ever see anybody talk at a eulogy? Nobody ever says something bad about a person. They're never like, oh, this guy was a piece of garbage, to tell you the truth. But, you know, here we are. I don't even know why I'm talking about this guy. Everyone has everything nice to say. And depending on if it's a liberal topic or a conservative topic, they do the same thing. You could take the same subject and one will beat it up on how great it is, and the other one will beat it up on how bad it is. There's just no meeting in the middle or any of that. So I think that we should get rid of both parties. I think that we should just come up with our own. You know, Bob Jones comes up there and he says, I'm not for abortion, this is why. I'm not for regulations, and this is why. I am for gun control, and this is why. I am for this, and this is why, and whatever. And then we make our decisions on which ones we like and which ones we don't like, instead of having specifically two groups of individuals that we have to follow. If you follow two or three of these things, you're this. If you follow two or three of those things, then you're that. You know what I mean? There can be people who believe in guns and also believe in abortion. There are people who can believe in building walls, but also not having voter ID. There's a lot of things that mix and match and all that other stuff. And I think we have to be, you know, with today's technology and the way things are changing and all that other stuff, we can't have the same old, you know, way of thinking and way of voting and way of doing things. We have to be more advanced. We have to be more understanding. We have to have better ideas on how we can make things happen. All right? Appreciate you listening to another video. Thank you very much. Have a great day.